This is Jason Verney's podcast. I am Jason Verney. I haven't actually done a podcast for a while, and seeing as I'm over in Asia, which is a place where in my life many things have revolved around, be it film, be it friends, be it places I've visited, be it food. So I thought it would be quite nice to actually record one about moving to Asia, my thoughts on Asia, moving to Thailand or moving to Bangkok. You could even say moving to India or moving to South Korea, but less so, and I'll cover that in a second. I'm outside, incidentally, if you couldn't tell, because as I've said before, I actually like these sort of episodes on the go, on the fly, on the move. And not only that, I'm away from home. I have certain things at my apartment here where I am in Bangkok, and you know, I have the facilities to do it inside, so bear with me while the traffic is going past. But as I say, it was kind of intentional. I wanted to do this, and also it's nice to take a stroll while walking. Now, let's just move away here a little bit. It's difficult to move away from traffic in many Asian cities actually, but it's very noisy in Bangkok. I'm actually on the outskirts of Bangkok, kind of another you could say another city or another district, but I'm very close to Paknam BTS, the BTS SkyTrain, so I'm very close to that, which takes me right into the heart of Bangkok in about 30 minutes, so it's really good. But yeah, I kind of wanted to just talk about my thoughts on moving to Asia, moving to Thailand in particular. Sure, I could move to South Korea. And believe me, all these possibilities have crossed my mind for several years. I've been coming to Asia for over 10 years, probably 11 or maybe even pushing it to 12. But the first country I came to was Thailand, and perhaps that's because it's such a tourist destination. I hate that to be the case, that you know, that was the place I visited. I'd like to have gone somewhere that less people go to. But hey, I guess I was a tourist like so everyone else, essentially. We all start off there, whether we become an immigrant in another country or expat. I don't know why we're not called immigrants, but we're called an expat in another country. But I moved here. I moved to Bangkok. I visited Bangkok. I visited Thailand, various places. Probably going on for 12 years ago, I think. And something always stayed with me. Even though my recent trip to India, where I was there for much longer than I anticipated, but I loved it and I wanted to stay there. Even then, in India, I thought to myself, I could make this my home. And I do feel it a lot, and I'm saying exactly the same now in Thailand. However, I've been to Thailand more times than I have India. India I've been to just twice, once approximately 10 years ago, and once just a couple of weeks ago. I came from there. So let's move around here. This is probably not going to come out that clear, but it is what it is. I hate that term, but we all use it these days. So the first thing I kind of wanted to just touch on, because something I've been meaning to state or make clear, especially to people who mention, or not to me personally, but maybe online or on forums and what have you, you'll get bored somewhere, or you'll get bored in another country. It's not your home, and I don't know how you can. Yes, you might get homesick, you might miss your family, you might miss certain comforts, I might miss independent cinemas around almost every corner in London. There is one in Bangkok at least, but I'm not 100% saying it's going to be Bangkok I move to, but I'm just saying that yes, there are things that you miss. But the thing is, the way I look at it is this: you do get bored. You get bored of your own country, or at least I did. But it took me a good, 30, 40 years to get bored of somewhere. I'm deliberately putting in brackets there, because, well, not brackets, but a vague length of time, because, don't need to give my age away, and I need to I don't really know when it was anyway, when I started to get bored of things. I know people say that if you're bored of London, you're bored of life. Well, that was a famous phrase and statement made years ago. But it's not that. I think it's just the fact that we have this in this day and age, and this with this modernity and this technology, we have, and the prices have changed so much of getting to a destination like Thailand. There are things that you just couldn't do years ago, and your parents certainly couldn't do them. And I don't know. I'm literally staying. Just to give you an example, I like my neighbourhood in London. I've only the last few years got used to it. I moved to London. I got used to going into the city, partying, or just going out, meeting friends, having meals in the centre or somewhere, good place to go, whether it's Waterloo or Soho or whatever. And the last couple of years, I've really got into my local community, and I think the more I'm walking around my area I am right now in Bangkok, or on the outskirts of Bangkok, discovering the marketplace, the harbour, and all this, the riverside, and these lovely new districts. To me, that would take a long time to get bored of, and if you got bored of it, you could quite easily visit another place in Thailand. So, yeah, sure, you could get bored. It might take 40 years, or it might take much less, and I might decide to go home if I moved out here. But the thing is, there are other places in the world. There's thousands, hundreds. If you took it down to villages, there's millions of places to. Yeah, I'm talking about places in the middle of nowhere, places that are lesser. I haven't even been to Africa, and I feel like I really should go someday. But anyway, so Bangkok, Thailand, whatever, has always been in the back of my mind. I've come here more than I have South Korea, and it probably had a big part to play in my passion for Asian food, especially Southeast Asia, I suppose. A love of films, even my love of South Korea or South Korean films and culture. I started recording something, I started writing something a while ago, which I've yet to finish. I've got many things like that, where I talked about the Korea-Thailand connection for me, and I'll publish that at some point, or at least perhaps even make a podcast recording about it. And so there are people again that say don't move to Thailand, or don't move to India, or particular place like Kerala or whatever. And then there's people, again, I'm probably talking about the internet and forums and things, and that's probably not the best place to seek real advice. You've got to go somewhere and live it, But people will say, you'll never fit in, you'll never be one of them, you'll never be a citizen. Well, I'm thinking to myself, well, sure, we've got lots of immigrants and people that have emigrated to the UK, but in all honesty, do you really mix with everyone you see? Do you really integrate them as much as as you could do? Do they really? Perhaps they become citizens, but really, are they really felt like citizens? So I'm just kind of saying the flip side is, it's I don't know why people. people say that, yeah, you might feel like you're an outsider a lot of the time, but maybe that's what you like. Maybe you like being the outsider. Certain times in my life, it's helped me. Perhaps it's actually hindered me as well, but it makes you who you are, ultimately. Whether you become a recluse, which I almost did once, for various reasons, or whether you just get set in your ways, and that's certainly I think something I've done as well. So there's loads of these different things that people say, and and the other one is something that I almost was guilty of earlier in this podcast, was saying that sorry, all these but I'm also watching where I'm heading. They say that all these places are becoming too touristy. I don't want to go to Thailand, it's becoming too touristy. Now, sure, that is the case, but you have to remember, every person that says that essentially is a tourist. You can't really put other people down for being there first, or having been there first. I mean, I do wonder how. I know I've got quite a few Thai friends from over the last few years, and I do wonder how they feel about all this. But at the same time, I know in UK that people are disgruntled and happy. There's both sides of the coin about people moving around. To me, we're all one world. We should be able to move freely. There is issues with that, but we should. Obviously, you have to respect where you go. That's the long and short of it. Just respect who you meet. If they're not as nice to you as you are to them, which it could be that they're even nicer to you than you are to them, just go with it. Don't attack them, or don't attack them even in your mind if you can help it. I mean, this is not the way to be. A lot's been happening for me lately as well, especially after Ayurvedic treatment in India. And having given up alcohol 8 months ago approximately, and just looking forwards and things. I'm not saying I'm never going to do this, I'm never going to do that, but at the same time, I'm kind of a bit more focused now. And whenever I come back to Thailand, Bangkok even, I could spend a month in Bangkok, and people might say, well, that's crazy, visit other places. And I say, well, there is time for that. It's also a lot less financially, you don't spend so much if you don't travel around. I love cities. For example, I love London. It's just, I like to immerse myself, and just getting up in a different city, in a different place, and having a convenience of maybe the metro or the BTS or the other transportation systems. And believe me, in Bangkok, you've got motorbike taxis, you've got Sing Chaos, which are I think I'm pronouncing that right, which are the little mini buses, little vans that take a few people in. Song Towers, I think it is. And tuk-tuks, of course, and taxis are everywhere. You've got apps for it, and I'm kind of just wanting to mull things over while I had a bit of time. I mean, I've got loads of time, to be honest. I'm doing video editing while I'm out here, as well as some writing on my website minimovie.com, and also put Jason Verney into YouTube. You'll find lots of videos I'm uploading from years gone past, and also up to date ones. I am doing stuff. But anyway, I'm drifting off the subject. I just wanted to say that considering moving to Asia is definitely up there for me, and I don't want to go home. I'm not living. Some people come over to Thailand for the wrong reasons, or Cambodia for the wrong reasons. And I'm talking whether it's let's say for the opportunity to have drugs everywhere, and because things are more accessible, drugs, women, drinking, all this kind of stuff. But you've got to get to know the culture, and I feel really bad right now, and sad in a way, and mad at myself that I'm not learning the Thai language. I know some things, but I've not really immersed myself in it at all. And it's not like India, where yes, not everyone speaks English, but you can get by. It's funny because you can get by more in India in some ways than you can in Thailand. I'm just mulling this over. There are ways to do things. It all requires money. it all requires visas. And again, if people moan about the visas in this country and other countries, and you've got to respect the decisions. And the thing is, we've got our restrictions in our country, in the UK, and it's, for some people it's really difficult. Excuse my French or semi-French there. It's really difficult to stay in the country. I mean, for example, lots of Korean friends, they can't move to the UK. It's not easy. You need so much money. You need a certain amount of salary employment. It's not, if you're not in the EU, it's really difficult. I'm thinking it's going to be really noisy now because of where I am. I'm in a kind of crossroadsy junction area of where I'm staying, so it's probably echoey, noisy. I'm going to call it a day. I'll listen to this back and see what it's like, and either way, hopefully you'll get a chance to listen to this, or some version of this later on if this one's not great. Anyway, that's all. As they say in Thailand, for thank you, a lot of people know this already, I'm sure. Khop kun ka. So I'm just saying thank you. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.